So there's a man named Clay Travis. He's pretty popular in the sports world. He is a radio and TV host, has been for decades. He is a millionaire. And if you don't recognize the name, you will recognize the meme. And we will bring that up right now just so you might be familiar with this.
Amendment absolutist. I believe in only two things completely: the First Amendment and boobs. And so once they made the decision that they were not going to allow a conservative, non-sports related commentary, they couldn't do it either.
Hold on.
Yeah, he's famous for that. And just to make this a little extra funnier, we will play the really funny version. Sound good? Sound good? I think I actually might need to cut this out, but we'll see. Here we go.
To do with sports, and they said, look, you can't have this opinion. It's too.
I think those are two rules to live by. Now, why are we talking about Clay Travis today? Might have brought up a little controversy, and he put out a challenge to the NBA. We will go through the story as it unfolds. Now, where did this all start? This all started kind of around here. We got Clay Travis saying, holy crap. Oh, I don't follow him? Yeah, follow him. Yep. So here we see ESPN broadcast encourages viewers to go and listen to Cheryl Reeves' incredibly thoughtful comments of how biological males should be allowed in girls' sports and locker rooms, and how children should have their bodies mutilated to support gender ideology.
Well, we see Cheryl Reeves wearing a shirt today in support of trans kids. Trans kids belong on the shirt. This in the aftermath of Sophie Cunningham's recent comments. We actually saw Cheryl and Sophie speaking at center court pregame. And yesterday, Cheryl Reeves spent a lot of time talking at length with the media about this topic.
I would encourage anyone to go and listen to Cheryl Reeves' comments. Incredibly thoughtful, easy to find online. And
Cheryl.
So essentially, this basketball player, I forgot to pull up the clip, but essentially she was on camera and just said, hey, guys don't belong in the WNBA. Like, they are just men pretending to be women, and this is their space, and they shouldn't be there. It would be unfair. That's essentially what happened there. Now, did I do this backwards? Yes, I did. And then there was this little one. Indiana Fever coach says she isn't educated enough from a scientific standpoint to say if men should be able to play in women's sports. These people are batshit insane.
What's your stance? What is your stance on men or athletes who test as biological?
Look at her face. I don't know how to describe this face. I just know that a see you next Tuesday energy is coming from it.
Male participating in women's sports. What's your personal?
So common sense isn't scientific. Great. Reality isn't scientific enough for this woman. Okay. All right. You know, she should look down on her, between her legs, and she'll get all the education that she needs, but, you know, she's retarded.
I don't ever believe that exclusion.
See, this is one of those moments where discrimination is okay. And I remember watching, I forget who it was, but it was a guy on Joe Rogan's podcast. The thing is, we discriminate for moral reasons all the time. When there is a children's soccer game, we discriminate against adults from playing children's soccer for obvious reasons. Because there is a competitive advantage, therefore we discriminate against adults so that the kids can have a more fair playing field within their age group. In certain aspects in life, discrimination is okay. It is literally called the WNBA. The discrimination is right then and there. It's in the description. It's in the name. It's in the logo. This woman forgot who she was working for.
various governing bodies. I know growing up, I played with all the time.
Not professionally. Look, there's a ton of women that can kick my ass in basketball. I'm not a basketball player. They played in middle school. They played in high school. They understand the fundamentals a lot better than I ever would. But guess what? At the same age bracket, even with the same amount of experience, a man will dominate any women's sport. Majority of men in high school, 17, 18-year-olds, can beat the women's track record. That is a biological reality. And these people just, they drive me up a fucking wall. I look at them, I go, look, I understand that you want to be a nice person. I want to be a nice person. But you want to know what's not, you know what I'd rather? You be kind. Being nice only gets you so far. But being kind is how you deliver the truth. And if you can't accept the truth and the reality of that, then that means women get hurt. So when I look at this face, I see someone who knows what the reality is, understands that women will seriously get hurt if men are allowed to play in their games. But because she doesn't want to hurt fifis, she's there to say the right thing at the cost of the health of women. You want to see the face of misogyny? Right here. That's the face of misogyny.
There weren't girl sports.
Would you welcome a biological male in WNBA?
Again, it's like
I'm not a scientist. Let's hear it. You're not a scientist. You're not a biologist. Let's hear it, lady. Do it, lady.
I don't know when we talk about biological male and scientifically where we are. I think I'm not.
How is it different? Explain how it's different. You being ignorant of the obvious is not an argument. Men are still have reaction times 1/10 of a second faster than women do. Most people go, oh, it's only 10th. No, it's a very big deal. It's an incredibly big deal. In boxing, 1/10 of a second. Track, 1/10 of a second. It means everything. Having that reaction time is everything. Men have smaller pelvises where we could put a lot more power into our punches, a lot more strength into our passes. And we even have a harder bone structure. Like the one thing that I remember a PE teacher saying to one of the ladies in high school, it's like, I wouldn't punch a guy in the jaw. And she goes, why? He went, do you want to break your hand? That's what he told her.
I would say, though, that I just don't get.
Exclusion and being discriminatory is the answer. It is. Being discriminate, being non-inclusive is safer for everybody. Unless your name is Caitlin Clark, then it's just her fault for being white.
Conversations.
And you'd be okay with them in the locker room?
Yeah. Is there any frustration?
Who's frustrated? Name who's frustrated. And ask yourself if there's a logical reason for them to be frustrated.
To continue to grow as a.
But no, you're just going to continue saying stupid shit in order to continue the conversation, and you don't realize it because you're too dumb.
This is part of our growth edge as a league.
Well, yeah, because men grow bigger, taller, and faster. And that if you want to talk about growth, that's essentially what you want.
Able to manage, insulate as much as we can.
Just using as many safe words as possible. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want less than 1% of the entire United Western world to be angry at me. I would just rather 70% of the Western world to be angry at me. Learn to math, lady.
Be able to lead with conversation.
Thank you so much.
Well, your conversation is pretty retarded, lady. Okay, so apparently, because of all the hubbub about trans stuff, there's been a few protests, and Clay Travis goes into that right here.
The amount of interest in the Sophie Cunningham decision to say men shouldn't be able to compete in women's sports, and then the
Sophie Cunningham, smart lady. This woman, dumb lady.
fallout in the WNBA has continued. There were protests and supportive rallies in Portland. There were protests.
Portland, Oregon, of all places.
And supportive rallies in Minneapolis. You were at the rally. What was that like? Take us to that location. Describe the scene.
When we pulled up, we were driving up to the spot, and we saw the protesters on the other side. So we saw the flags and we saw the bullhorns, and we were thinking, "Where's Jen? Where's Jen Say?" So I texted her and said, "Where are you?" She said, "I'm with these people." So we went back. We got out of the car. We walked over there, and I would say numbers-wise, we outnumbered them. But they, of course, out-volumed us. They had a couple of bullhorns, and the things that they would do were very typical of leftist protesters. They would play their siren sound through the bullhorn so that
They can't win in numbers, so they have to be more annoying. Hey, if they're willing to start shooting us, it's all obvious. It's obvious right there that they're not going to play fair. They can't win. And they spent the last 10, 15 years bullying the shit out of normal people. I'm not saying Democrats. I'm not saying conservatives. I'm saying lefty lunatics bullied normal people for years. People got tired of it. Elon bought X. And now we're here. And they're losing, and they know it. They won't escape their bubble. But they're just going to drown themselves out while normalcy gets passed.
we could not be heard. They would just shout obscenities. You saw in the video some of the people trying to pull T-shirts out of people's hands. Just obscene signs, the things that they were calling us. It was quite something. At one point, guys, I felt like it was 1901 because we were chanting, "Let women speak, let women speak." And I was sitting there thinking to myself, my gosh, this is bizarre.
It's funny how things circle around to women's rights. These people can't make up their mind. They're pro-women, they're pro-trans women, but they're also pro-biological women, but they want women's rights, but they want trans women's rights more than biological women's rights. And they also pretend that they don't know what a real woman is, but they do know. So they're misogynists against biological women. I had to go through a process there, but forgive me.
We are asking people to just let us speak. And every time we even tried to huddle our group just to have like a little pep talk within us, they would jump right in it. There was no getting around them. Like I said, I think we outnumbered them. We had tons of support. We even had Democrats over there who were holding up signs saying Democrats for Title IX. It was quite a scene.
Yeah, Democrats are waking up, especially with this whole DSA thing. Like, I think soon something's going to happen. I don't know what it is, but soon there's going to be a power play. And it's not going to go in their direction.
Glad Riley arrived just before the game because it would have been ugly for her. You know the kind of target she has become. But she arrived, we kind of whisked her into Target Center and let her go onto her seats. But it was something.
So like I said, Clay Travis, so going kind of back to the beginning, Clay Travis decided to put a little challenge out there to see if they'd put their money where their mouth is. And this is what he decided to do. And it's insanely clever, and I appreciate him for putting his own money out in order to call them out on their hypocrisy.
I've got two aggressive moves that I am undertaking here.
And he's absolutely
and
serious.
I'm 100% serious about this. And I'm going to share both of them with you. First of all, I will buy a WNBA expansion franchise as the primary owner of that franchise. I will bring them to my hometown where I do this show from, Nashville, Tennessee. I will pledge that 100% of my team will be trans. That will be men pretending to be women.
Now you have to think about this. Like there's like so many layers of this that is genius. Because on one hand, you get a lot of based trans women that think this is ridiculous, who just want to live their lives and want biological women to still to have their safe spaces. That means that the trans women, the men that will be playing on his team, agree with him. They will essentially call them out using their own logic. And it will be all based women and men in drag. And that is all sorts of hilarious. You see the layers of this here? Because on one hand, you have trans women that agree with him, but then there's the biological loony left women like that coach we saw earlier who said trans women should be in the league. But there's a bunch of trans women who don't think they should be in the league, but play anyway just to make a point. There's so many layers. It is a layer sandwich that is made of steel that no lefty lunatic can bite through. I'm so excited. You have no idea how excited I am about this. I want to see this happen.
Our entire coaching staff will be trans. That is men pretending to be women. We will not lose a single game. There are probably some games, Buck, where we will not even give up a single point. I will call this team the Nashville Balls, and I will become a dynastic sports owner. I will own a WNBA franchise. I will buy it, and I will play only men who identify as women. We'll wear wigs. We'll run around, do whatever we need to do to be officially classified as identifying as women. This is what they're now saying is permitted. I will do it. I will buy a team. I'll put my money where my mouth is. Secondly, before, Buck, you remember.
And he has a secondary idea, which also has its own layers.
I offered $1 million if the WNBA champ, which is right now the Las Vegas Aces, I believe, if they would play a boys high school state championship team of my choosing, I would give $1 million to the winning team. Buck, I will now give $10 million to the winning team. We will put this on pay-per-view.
The women say that they want to get paid more money. Well, start dribbling those balls, girls. If you're so confident and you want to be so inclusive, but you think you're so good because you're in the WNBA and are professionals, why aren't you taking them up on this offer, ladies? What? Did you hear about the high school boys soccer team that kicked USA's ass? The women's USA team? You don't want to be the laughingstock of the entire Western world? I don't know.
We will send all the profits, of which there will be probably tens of millions, to Tunnel to Towers, T2T.org, our good friends there, for mortgage-free homes for veterans, the families of veterans, first responders, police, people who have lost their lives defending this country. $10 million. I will wheel it out. I don't even know how much space $10 million. We'll dump truck it out.
I want it. Dude, Clay wants to Mr. Beast the fuck out of this. He's pulling a Mr. Beast. We have two teams, men versus women. High school basketball versus the WNBA. First one to win wins $10 million. In fact, invite Mr. Beast. Invite Mr. Beast. Have him be the announcer. More eyeballs will be on it. I want to see it, Clay. I want to see it. I don't ask for much in this world. I need to see this in my life.
Put it in the arena. A boys' high school team will get $10 million if they win the WNBA. They say that they're underpaid. They say that they're as good as men. Let's decide it once and for all. And I think you have to be hyperbolic to respond to the absurdity here, because if you are not, then they will just continue to chirp. They'll continue to talk. So I think you have to put money behind your words. I am taking them at their words, and I will put $10 million, boys high school team, state champ of my choice.
This is
versus
genius.
WNBA, and or I will also purchase a WNBA franchise and only play men who identify as women, and that is the trans community in the WNBA. I doubt that the WNBA will respond to this, but this is real money on the table in a significant way.
Okay, now here's what I think's realistically going to happen here. I don't think the women are going to play against high school boys. Not a great look for the WNBA. Not a great look for any of the teams. Not good for the Acers. They won't do that because they want to be nice, right? They want to protect people's feelings. They won't do it. That's my best guess. So what I think is going to happen is I think that he's going to have to make a full trans basketball team to just wipe them out. All balls, all scoring. Dribble, 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 dribble. And the thing is, he follows up. WNBA coach said she'd be able to play in the WNBA. WNBA coach says men should be able to play in the NBA. Finally, where's my franchise, WNBA? My team will be 100% trans. The Travis-owned Nashville Balls will be the most inclusive women/men's team in the WNBA history. Stop discriminating against us. And this is another coach who's all about that inclusivity, saying how she shouldn't be in the sport because of her race for some reason. And I'm like, looking at her, being like, I'm sorry. The number one injured player in all of WNBA who's like got more elbows than anyone else is Caitlin Clark. And this woman's like, people don't like me because my skin color, they say I should. Dude, you're full of fucking shit.
Again in the regular season, but coming out of the break, one of the big news stories has been Sophie Cunningham and the protests for her and protests against her. And, you know, they had a national televised game today. And
by the way, on one hand, also, there's this. I call it the Brie Larson effect. Do not trust mainstream journalists. This should just be about basketball. At the end of the day, it should just be about basketball. But these fucking journalists, they want to get their fucking headlines. They want to get the most controversial thing said so they get their fucking clips. And look, I want my clicks. Smash JT wants his clicks. All content creators want their clicks. But this is a dishonest way to do it. Completely dishonest. You're trying to approach someone who has said nothing about this prior, as far as I can tell, and putting them in a hot seat where they have to agree with the loony liberal propaganda. It's completely unnecessary, but also at the same time, she was dumb enough to answer.
Cheryl, you know, wore a shirt, and it's just a conversation. I'm wondering, just what do you think about it? Do you think that's good for the league? Does it detract from the basketball? Is it just noise? I'm just wondering what your opinion is.
I think. Thank you for that question. I think, just in terms of how I'm seeing it, is if I could answer. With, like, for me, sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self.
Their authentic self. Balls and all. Nothing bad's gonna happen. We're the nice people being inclusive. Sure, all the elbows toward Caitlin Clark. Yeah, She might break a jaw or two, maybe in 3 different places, but at least we were inclusive.
You know, I'm big on that just because I have been criticized for my height, for my...
Yeah, so have male players. And you know what they did? They dribbled the ball and made scores. You got Mugsley. I forget his last name. Shortest motherfucker on the team. You know what he did? He goes, you think I'm not good because I'm short? Dunk. Fucking got over it. Proved him wrong. Fuck your little victim mentality, lady. I don't care what skin color you are. Majority of people don't. They want to see you play ball. Just because people comment on your height, then that means that, that's a part of basketball. Natural height is a part of basketball. Duh. How tall is LeBron James? Like 6'4", 6'5", or some shit? He has a clear advantage. Just because people comment on your height isn't because they're racist or because they're heightists. They're looking at the game of how it's played.
My ethnicity.
What? Because you're Asian? Yeah, Asians are short. Holy shit. Knowledge ball. Asians are short. Did you guys know this? Chat, am I just figuring this out just now? Asians tend to be a little shorter than most people? Holy crap. Mind blown. Mind blown.
I've been in those you shouldn't belong here many times. And for me, I don't want that space, especially Golden State, to ever feel like that. So I'm all about women.
It's about results. It's not about how you frickin' feel. It's about reality. Get over it. Get off your cross, use the woods to build a bridge, and get over it. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women. So I'm all about inclusivity.
A bridge of dicks. A bridge of dicks. Anyway, this continues on. If you're right, so this person says, whoever this person is, exactly what you're trying to do. The Aces are pros. They definitely win. And Clay Travis is like, if you're right, why won't the Aces take my $10 million? If they're so confident, why aren't they doing it? And yeah, they'll do these things like, well, we're not going to be some part of some publicity stunt. And we know, if they say that, we know they're lying. They know what would happen. They know that they would lose to average men. They know it. But I specifically want the high school basketball team, and this is what I said. Dear God, I don't ask for much. And this is kind of a reaction, another interview with Clay Travis on Fox News about this whole challenge. And here's what went down. Hell yeah. Wow, it's like it's in the name or something. It's like everyone's pointed that out and knew what a woman was for millions of years. But hey, I digress. But hey, he's challenging it. So let's see it.
There, right?
Oh, this would raise so much money. So much money. There's not enough balls in the world. Okay, there might be enough balls in the world, but it's going to be epic.
For charity.
Oh, actually, really good point that I'd like to make. Would we be using an NBA court or a WNBA court? Or would we be using a high school court? Because there is a difference. Or wait, isn't the high school court the same as WNBA? I forget. But there's different courts. It'd be more hilarious if it was an actual men's NBA court because the three-pointer is different. And he is not wrong. Clay Travis is our BAMF of the day, and I will leave that there.
Hey, thank you for watching this clip from my live stream. Please comment below, like, and subscribe. And be sure to subscribe to my main channel, where I do all these live streams and have my independent videos where I do deep dives. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, you are somebody, I am nobody, and I hope you have a fantastic day.